part 6. I'm Tony C here with our college football pick show here for Saturday action. Well, we're in part 6 here. We got them all done. We've got 9 games for you. That total 53 for this week 8. Before we get to them, just a couple things. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Free college football picks are updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports. We also have NFL. We have Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, a lot more. It is a good time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel, the thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Then visit Tony'sPicks.com. We're a multi-capper site showcasing our top cappers in our industry. Click the link to the hot cappers. Get signed up to some of our hot cappers. Guys like Ramon, who's been red hot. Nick has been hot. We've got as well Tiffany and more. Click the link and get signed up to some of our long-term passes. You'll find our featured picks here on the front of the page here. Our best bets here. Each capper can release one best bet per sport per day. $15 premium pick. Each capper can designate one of their premium picks as a $15 premium pick. And of course, our 3-packs, which are very popular. Check them out right now and get signed up. Also, I'd love to let you guys know about our promo code. You can save 20% off all premium pick packages when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access our page by clicking the link in the description. Click on the All Cappers tab, get signed up. Also, we'd love to hear from you guys. Post your picks in the comments below. We are looking for cappers, so apply over at our homepage, over in the footer section. And again, if you can't check us out on video, every pick is in podcast form at Tony's Picks Podcast, our podcast, Tony's Picks, available on all major platforms. Let's get this one started. Minnesota versus Penn State college football pick Saturday. Minnesota fell to 4-2 after their 26-14 road defeat at Illinois. Golden Gophers a season low 180 yards, 142 rushing on 24 carries. Minnesota surrendered 472 yards to the Fighting Illini with over 4 yards a carry and 252 passing yards on 32 attempts. Tanner Morgan completed a season low 33% in the loss with a pick and 1.8 yards per attempt. He took a shot to the head, wasn't expected participant in practice. Cole Kramer, the backup if Morgan can't play, he's thrown 13 passes in his 3 seasons as a backup. Penn State 5-1 after their 41-17 road defeat at Michigan. The Lions a season low 268 offensive yards. They rushed for 111 yards on 22 carries. The Penn State run defense got hammered by Michigan for 418 yards on 55 carries. Sean Clifford practiced this week after an upper body injury last week. The signal caller season lows here, 37% completions, 6.3 yards per attempt. On the year, season low here, career low, 59% completions, 7.4 yards per attempt. Golden Gophers are a strong running team, and the Lions showed weakness stopping the run last week in a big way. Golden Gophers defense allowing just 263 yards a game. Play here, Minnesota plus 5.5. UCF versus East Carolina college football pick Saturday. UCF 5-1 after their 70-13 home win at Temple. Season high 737 yards of offense for the Golden Knights. With the Knights here, with 304 rushing on 41 carries. They limited the Owls' ground attack and allowed 234 passing on 44 attempts. John Plumlee, well, season highs here, 82% completions, 4 touchdowns, 17 yards per attempt. Plumlee has put up strong numbers in these 3 AAC games. East Carolina 4-3 after their 47-45 home overtime win to Memphis Tigers. Pirates gained 473 yards in the win, rushing for 169 yards on 42 carries. Defensively, ECU limited Memphis on the ground, but allowed 407 passing yards on 37 attempts. Holden Ahlers completed 76% of his passes, 304 yards, 8.9 yards per attempt. In conference, Ahlers' 69% completion rate, 8.3 yards per attempt. Now, UCF plays their second road game and blew out FAU on the road. Pirates at home producing 465 yards offensively, 5.1 yards per rush. Ahlers' AAC form has been pretty good to play here. East Carolina plus 5. Texas A&M versus South Carolina college football pick Saturday. Texas A&M fell to 3-3 after their 24-20 road defeat at Alabama. Aggies had a shot with the win, but incomplete pass, a short touchdown pass attempt deep in Crimson Tide territory in the closing seconds. Aggies posted 323 yards, 70 of it on the ground on 25 carries. They did contain the Crimson Tide pass attack, but allowed 288 rushing yards on 51 carries. Haynes King 54% completions in the game, 5.5 yards per attempt. This year, King 58% completions, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks, 6.9 yards per attempt. South Carolina, they're 4-2 after a 24-14 road defeat at Kentucky. Gamecocks 356 offensive yards with the run game generated 179 yards on 42 carries. South Carolina limited the Wildcats' ground attack but allowed 178 yards passing on 27 attempts. Oklahoma transfer quarterback Sean Rattler, 74% completion rate, 9.3 yards per attempt in the game, but on the season, Rattler, 75% completions, but 5 touchdowns, 8 picks, 7.6 yards per attempt. Bye week for both teams. Weak home schedule thus far for the Gamecocks, but a 48-7 home defeat to Georgia is also on that schedule at home. Gamecocks averaging 2.5 turnovers a game. Prefer the pass defense on the Aggie side. Play here, Texas A&M -3. Pittsburgh versus Louisville college football pick Saturday. Pittsburgh 4-2 after their 45-29 home win to Virginia. Season high for the Panthers as they gained 496 yards with season high 326 rushing on 43 carries. They limited the Hokies on the ground but allowed 277 passing yards on 47 attempts. Gaden Slovis 53% completions with a pick. Season low here 6.1 yards per attempt. On the air, Slovis career low here 61% completion rate, 7.9 yards per attempt. Louisville, they're 3-3 after their 34-17 road win at Virginia. Cardinals moved the football for 473 yards with 198 on the ground on 49 carries. Louisville stuffed the ground attack for the Cavaliers and allowed 313 passing yards on 34 attempts. Maley Cunningham expected to play after missing the Virginia game with a concussion. Season to date, Cunningham 62% completions, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 7.2 yards per attempt. That's a career low. He's rushed for 9 touchdowns and 457 yards. Now Slovis underperforming for Pittsburgh. Cunningham's health the key here with his dual threat ability. Play here Louisville -2.5. Kansas State versus a TCU college football pick Saturday. Kansas State moved to 5-1 after their 10-9 road win at Iowa State. Wildcats gained 388 yards in the win with 131 rushing on 38 carries. Defensively, Kansas State did limit the Iowa State run game and allowed 198 passing yards on 38 carries. Adrian Martinez completed 63% of his passes, season high here, 13 yards per attempt. Heavy running day for Martinez, 77 yards on 19 carries. This season, Martinez 62% completions, no picks, career low 6.5 yards per attempt. TCU moves to 6-0 after a 43-40 home overtime victory to Oklahoma State. Another strong offensive performance here as the Horned Frogs produced 510 yards, 224 of it rushing. The defense did allow 386 yards to the Cowboys with 245 passing. Max Duggan completed season lows here, 57% with completion with 7.2 yards per attempt. He did produce 286 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Now on the season, Duggan career highs here, 69% completions, 9.5 yards per attempt, 16 touchdowns and only 1 pick on the year. Horned Frogs at home averaging 602 yards, while Kansas State on the road allowing 264 passing yards and 5.1 yards per rush. Play here, Kansas State and TCU over 54.5. Colorado versus Oregon State college football pick Saturday. Colorado improved to 1-5 with their 20-13 home win in overtime to California. Buffs offense produced 328 yards, 118 of it rushing on 35 carries. Colorado held the Golden Bears' run game to under 2 yards a carry and allowed 262 passing yards on 52 attempts. Owen McCown will be a game-time decision due to an injury and limited participation in practice. He completed 62% of his passes in the win with a pick and season low 5 yards per attempt. J.S. Shrout, a sophomore, is the backup. Lost the starting job with just a 45% completion rate, 4.5 yards per attempt, in his 4 appearances. Oregon State 5-2. They come off a 24-10 home win to Washington State. Beavers moved the ball for 344 yards. They rushed it for 203 on 47 carries. They stuffed the Cougars' run game to just 1 yard a carry for the game. Now, Ben Gulbranson, the new starter, 50% completion with a season low of 5.9 yards per attempt in the game. On the season, Gulbranson, 61% completions, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, 8 yards per attempt. Buffalo's offensive production leaves little to be desired on the road. They're averaging just 245 yards, while on defense on the road, they're giving up 553 yards, 6.6 yards per rush, 14 yards per completion. Gulbranson, an improvement over the interception-prone Chance Nolan, who throws a lot of multi-interceptions in games. The play here will be Oregon State here at -23.5. Utah State versus Wyoming college football pick Saturday. Utah State 3-4 after their 17-13 road win at Colorado State. Aggies moved the ball for 390 yards, 252 rushing on 49 carries. They held the Rams to under 3 yards per rush and 163 passing yards on 33 attempts. Cooper Allegas had completed 75% of his passes, 7.1 yards per attempt, prior to leaving with a concussion. Backup Levi Williams went 2 of 9 for 12 yards in relief and banged up an ankle. Freshman Bishop Davenport, the QB3, went 3 of 9 for 41 yards in double relief. Wyoming 4-3 after a 27-14 road win at New Mexico. The Cowboys gained only 304 yards, 130 rushing on 39 carries. On defense, they contained the Lobos' passing game and allowed 4 yards a carry on the ground. Edu Peasley just 47% completions in the win with 8 yards per attempt and 2 touchdowns. This season, Peasley 54% completions, 5.9 yards per attempt. Quarterback issues for Utah State may make this a pretty much a running game on both sides. Peasley inaccurate quarterbacking this season. The play here with Utah State and Wyoming under 45. San Diego State and Nevada college football pick. This one goes off on Saturday. San Diego State 3-3 after their 16-14 home win to Hawaii. Aztecs gained 417 yards in the win, 95 rushing on 35 carries. Aztecs did allow 5 yards per carry to the Warriors with 196 passing on 34 carries. Jalen Maiden completed 67% of the passes in the win with a touchdown and 8.9 yards per attempt. He threw 6 passes last year in the mop-up duty. Nevada fell to 2-5 with their 31-16 road defeat of Hawaii. Wolfpack gained only 277 yards in the game, 89 of it rushing on 28 carries. On defense, Nevada did surrender 223 rushing yards to the Warriors on 46 carries. Nate Cox, 59% completion rate, and they lost 5.1 yards per attempt. This season, Cox, 55% completions, 5.8 yards per attempt. On the road, San Diego State averaging only 143 yards. Wolfpack, despite rebuilding, has moved the football at home. Aztecs' run defense no longer dominant as it once was, as they're giving up 4.7 yards a carry on the ground. Play here will be on Nevada +7. Washington versus California college football pick Saturday. Washington is 5-2 after their 49-29 home win to Arizona. Huskies an FBS high 595 yards offensively, 79 on the ground on 29 carries. They did limit the Wildcats' ground attack, but allowed 400 passing yards on 35 attempts. Michael Penix, a season-high 82% completion rate. That was in victory. 4 touchdowns, 12 yards per pass attempt. On the season, the Indiana transfer, a 67% completion rate, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks, a career high, 8.9 yards per attempt. Cal falls to 3-3 after their 20-13 road overtime defeat at Colorado. Golden Bears produced 297 yards in defeat with 35 rushing on 22 carries. Jack Plummer completed 56% of his passes in defeat, ties a season low, 5 yards per pass attempt. Plummer's passing performance better at home. Huskies pass defense on the road, well, they're giving up 278 yards, 73% completion rate, 8.8 yards per attempt. Now, Golden Bears have thrown average 264 yards per a game at home. Huskies on the road throw for 334 yards. Play here, Washington, California, over 54.5. All right, that was our college football pick show here, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, set notifications. Visit Tony's Picks for our best bets of the day and my best bets of the day by clicking the link in the description and getting over there and signing up. I'm Tony T. We'll be back with more picks later.